Hi, it's Cara and today we are filming my September book haul. So I bought like 3 of these most of the way through September, and then right at the very end of the month when I went to Canada, I went to Indigo and I went nuts. So I have a bit of a haul for you here. Most of these are new releases that are very high up my TBR and I'm very excited about. So let's go through them really quickly. First of all, we have City of Ghosts by Victoria Schwab. This is a middle grade spoopy ghost story. Everyone's been chatting about it. Everyone loves Victoria Schwab. I love Victoria Schwab. I'm really excited to read this. I think it's going to be great. It's more like an urban fantasy spoopy ghost story, and I think it's going to be swell. Then we have Strange Grace by Tessa Gratton. This was kind of an auto buy for me because I recently read, what was her other release this year? The Three Queens one, The Queens of Innisfail, and loved it, which is a beast of a book. This is a much shorter, achievable book, but I loved that, and this is, again, very atmospheric for the Halloween season. So I'm hoping to read this very soon. If I get around to it, I'm going to be reading it in October. Does it has a spoopy underneath, doesn't it? Yes, it has like a tree marked in here, if you can see that. This is following... Actually, I think this reminds me a lot from the synopsis of The Wicked Deep by Shea Earnshaw, but I'm hoping that where that book failed and kind of fell flat, this one will do amazing things. So it's like I think it's kind of like an urban fantasy, witchy, ghost, devil pact story. So I'm very excited to read all this. I bought that one at Indigo. I'm all out of order. I'm just doing them on the order there in the pile. This one I also picked up while I was in Canada, and this is The Lady's Guide to Petticoats and Piracy by Mackenzie Lee. I'm really glad I picked this up while I was over there because when the first book came out, this is the sequel to The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue, if you didn't know. And that book only just released in Australia. In fact, I don't even think it is released in Australia. And I ordered it from Book Depository, hence why I decided to pick this up while I was over there. But then yesterday when I was browsing the bookstore back home, this now is in bookstores but is in paperback, and my first one's in hardback. So I'm very glad I picked this up in hardback to matchy match. This is a historical fiction following an asexual main character, Felicity, who's the sister of Monty, the main character in the first book. And it's going to be an adventure. I'm really excited. This will probably be in my November TBR because I'm trying to prioritize spoopy books in October. But I'm very excited to be reading this very soon. Then we have a bit of a beast of a book, and that is Lethal White by Robert Galbraith, or J.K. Rowling. I'm probably like the one person on YA BookTube who actually loves the Robert Galbraith Cormorant Strike crime novels. This is the first one I physically own with me. The others I co-bought with my parents. And in fact, if I finish this and they still haven't bought it at like Christmas time, I'll probably take it home and leave it with them. This is a beast. It's like over 600 pages. Yeah. This is obviously a crime novel. I really enjoy these. I think they're very twisty and turny in a way that I don't see coming. Like I find them really hard to predict. So very traditional style crime novels. Like more the penny, what are they? The old kind of old school, early, are they dime novels? I'm thinking of like The Last Goodbye or The Long Goodbye and those ones by, what's his name? I can't remember his name. And they're very similar to that, I think. But I am excited to read this, again, hoping to read this month or next month, October or November. Definitely before Christmas. But it's big. Then while I was in Canada, I picked up The Dark Vault by Victoria Schwab. This is a bind-up of the Archived and the Unbound. I've read the Archived before, but I don't have a good memory for it, so I'll probably have to reread it. and I have never read The Unbound, and this also comes with a bonus novella. I picked this up because I didn't own either of those books, and those were the only two Victoria Schwab books I don't own. I own the Savage Song Duology, I own the Shades of Magic series, I own Vicious, and in a minute you'll see the other one. So this was really the only V. Schwab I was missing. So I was very excited to see this bind up. The kind of visually ties in. Actually, no, it doesn't to this one. It does to the US versions of this. But that doesn't worry me because none of my editions match anyway. I'm just excited to have this. And I'm excited to read these. So it probably won't happen for a little while. But it's also really heavy, but very floppy. And that should bring me to Vengeful, also by V.E. Schwab. This is the sequel to Vicious. Spoiler alert, I've already read it. Yes. I don't even know what to say. Vicious, if you didn't know, is like a comic book, like superhero comic in a novel. It's amazing and dark and creepy, and this is also amazing and dark. I really enjoyed this, but this is not a wrap-up, so I'll talk about it more in my wrap-up. But I'm very excited to have it. It doesn't match my other one, but I have like this version of Vicious. So it was never going to match in a million years, but I'm glad to have Vengeful. I also picked up Emergency Contact by Mary H.K. Choi. This is a contemporary, YA contemporary, following these two kids in college that text each other as their like emergency contacts. I think this is a unique kind of storytelling idea, and a lot of people have read it and really liked it, so I was keen to pick it up. I also bought this month The Female of the Species by Mindy McGuinness. This I've heard recommended all over the place. It seems very dark. It's a murder mystery, kind of young adult contemporary, following our main character Alex, whose older sister was murdered, but the killer walked free. I'm just grabbing everything off my foot. And, oh, it's a Macca's Monopoly thing. And so she starts getting her revenge, I believe. It looks really cool. I'm really excited to read this. It's not that long either. I thought it would be longer, so I'm definitely keen to read this sometime soon. It's also ridiculously floppy. And finally, we have An Absolutely Remarkable Thing by Hank Green. This is probably all over the internet by now, so like I really don't need to describe it, but it's like a soft sci-fi about our main character April May, who comes across this statue of a robot-y transformer thing. She kind of describes it like a transformer, and she calls him Carl, and she uploads a YouTube video about it, and it goes viral. And it's really an exploration of fame and notoriety with this like sci-fi backdrop, and it's really great. I have already read it, but I'll talk about it more in my wrap-up. Everyone will be reading this month, I am sure. But I definitely had to get my hands on it, and I read it really quickly. I read it like on the flight home in one sitting, which says a lot. So those are the books I picked up this past month. Comment down below if you're looking into picking up any of these in the near future, or if you've read any of these. Leave me your vague opinions on them. Otherwise, I will see you next time with another video. I think until the end of the year, my posting schedule is going to be a little bit wacky. And hopefully in the new year, I can get back on track. Obviously, I've been way out of whack because of all this travel. But hopefully I can get into kind of like a semi-regular posting schedule. But it's probably not going to be the most regular thing in the world. But anyway, you'll forgive me, right? Anyway, I keep saying anyway. I will see you soon with another video. Thank you so much for watching. I love you all, and I'll see you next time. Bye!